The music was too loud, and the lights too bright, but I still heard my best friend Tyler whisper in my ear. "Bro, go ask that girl to dance. Trust me." I should have known the way he said trust me meant trouble. But it was a charity gala, the kind of event where people pretend to be fancier than they really are, and I didn't want to seem rude. So I looked at the girl he pointed to, quiet, sitting near the edge of the dance floor, wearing a soft blue dress. She looked sad. Or maybe just alone. So, gathering what little courage I had, I walked up, smiled, and asked, "Would you like to dance?" She startled a little, then her eyes softened. "Are you sure?" she asked, almost whispering. "Absolutely." She gave a tiny, shy nod. That's when she stood up, and I noticed her prosthetic leg. And instantly, I understood. Tyler had tricked me. A wave of annoyance washed over me, not at her, never her, but at him. But she didn't see any of that. She just looked nervous, almost like she was ready for rejection. So I held out my hand. She hesitated, and then placed her hand in mine. We stepped onto the dance floor. The unexpected twist. At first, I was terrified, not of her, but of messing up. I didn't know how to lead, how to adjust, how not to draw attention. But she squeezed my hand gently and whispered, "You don't have to be careful. I'm not breakable." Her voice wasn't sad. It was brave. And then something beautiful happened. As the music swelled, she began to move, gracefully, confidently, as if every step she took rewrote the assumptions people like me carried around. People around us smiled, some whispered, some simply stared. But she didn't notice any of them. She was just happy. Radiant. Like the whole room had finally allowed her to exist without limits. A moment of realization. Halfway through the dance, she laughed, a soft, breathless sound that made my chest tighten. "You know," she said, "most people avoid me at events. They think asking me to dance will be awkward. Or they think I'll slow them down. But this." Her voice trembled, just a little. "I've never been this happy before." A simple sentence. But it hit me harder than the bass vibrating through the floor. All I wanted to do was make sure the moment lasted. So I spun her, carefully, but she burst into laughter like it was the greatest magic trick she'd ever seen. When the music shifted into a slow song, she stepped closer, resting her head near my shoulder. "You're a good person," she murmured. I swallowed hard, because the truth was, I wasn't. Not always. I only walked over because I was tricked. But standing there, holding her, I realized something. Sometimes fate doesn't need you to be perfect, just willing. Emotional climax. When the music finally stopped, she stepped back, cheeks flushed, eyes shining. "Thank you," she said. "For not looking at me like I'm less." I shook my head. "You're not less. You're incredible." No hesitation. No pity. Just truth. A small tear escaped her eye, not sadness, but relief. Like someone had finally told her what she'd always hoped to hear. And that's when I felt a tap on my shoulder. "Tyler." Before I could yell at him, she beat me to it. With fire in her voice, she said, "You didn't trick him into anything. You helped me meet someone kind." Tyler's smirk disappeared. And for once, he was speechless. The uplifting ending. Later that night, as I walked her outside, she looked up at me under the streetlights. "Most people don't give me a chance," she said. "But you did. I'm glad I did." She smiled, soft, grateful, unforgettable. Before getting into her car, she turned and said, "If you ever want another dance, choose me on purpose next time." And I knew I would. Not out of pity. Not out of guilt. But because that night, she showed me something I didn't even know I was missing. Kindness doesn't require perfection, just a moment of courage. And sometimes, giving someone a chance ends up changing you too.